I'm about to give y'all an intro to her story. That's right. We've heard his story over and over again. So good afternoon, Oregon Country Fair, class of 2023. That's righteous. If you're out there on the path and you don't know what to do, come on over. You might learn something. It might make your next relationship last longer. Because what does a woman want? She wants to be cherished. And what does a man want? He wants to be respected. And as long as you feel cherished, you will respect that man. And as long as he feels respected, he just might cherish you, no matter what gender you're fitting into. And when that goes south, usually the relationship does too. So I bless you with that little bit of wisdom. If you're not feeling cherished, ask for it. It'll help you both. My name is Kim Trippsmith. Yes, it is. And my mother was Hazel Lester. And her mother was Madeline Ross Henderson. That's where I'm from. I want you to turn to the person who's ever next to you and tell them where you're from. Who is your mother? Who is your grandmother? For centuries, the masculine, his story, has dominated every word of substance, written or spoken. I am here today to lead us on a deep dive into the roots of our language through the birth of a brand new lexicon, derived from the very source, of creation, the feminine. Being that this is the first time in his story that her story is being taught, you may wonder why I am qualified to represent and teach on this subject. Well, first of all, I am the Amazon Queen, and I have embodied that archetype for more than 40 years as a rock and roll musician. Yes, I have. I've been touring with Chautauqua, New Old Time Chautauqua over there on stage left, since 1985, and when I got there, it was patriarchy. There's a bunch of patriarchy on this fair. Oh, yes, there is. When your subculture betrays your ass, behold the goddess, behold the Amazon Queen. And I'm a woman, ain't I? I gave birth 2 times, oh yes I did, to a daughter and a son. And I'm a sister, and I'm a daughter. And I'm a writer and a musician and a historian with a double major in environmental science and theater production from the Evergreen State College. That's right, folks. I am qualified to sing and dance in the woods. And I've been busy. Oh, yeah. I'm also known as Mamazon. Because, Mama's always on, baby. Language is the well from which culture and communication draw their essence. Without language, cultures cannot thrive. Hence, we mourn the death of indigenous languages, indigenous tongues from all over the world. That said, each of us has a collective and a personal herstory. Both start in the language of the mother tongue. The symphony that we hear in the womb, whooshing through us to the rhythm of 2 heartbeats and Mama's vocals all around. Unsurprisingly, the Latin root of the actual word language is lingua, which actually means tongue. But tragically, our connection to the mother tongue has long been lost. So the real question is, how can we tell her story without her language? We've been hearing his story for 5,000 years. And frankly, or Franly, I'm tired of it. I am so damn tired of being left out of the story. Because in the English, every word having to do with women either has a man preceding it, poking it in the middle, interrupting it, penetrating it, or the feminine is completely erased. We don't even exist. Mr. and Miss. I miss myself. So we, playwright and comedian Sherry Glazer and I, have written a new book, Mama's First Pocket Dictionary. taken the dick out of dictionary. We offer new spellings to, in essence, reclaim our feminine voice. Because let's face it, y'all, only the feminine is gonna save us now. Would you like to know how we did it? Well, first we figured out how the patriarchy captured our language and hold its hostage to this day. And I want you to rethink that word, patriarchy. Let's spell it P-A-Y. Patriarchy. Because the patriarchy makes you pay and pay and pay until you die. That's right, y'all. By spelling it all out for you, the patriarchs created a dictionary. And they put the word right on the cover, but they took out the K, hoping we wouldn't notice. But we did notice. And this dominating language is manufactured to control us. Talking about it. Language was first developed to create and enact laws. And laws are to this day enacted right now to keep women in their place. That's why we're going to force you to have birth, because you're just a vessel for us. And that's real. Let's go down in our lives right now. Now, the only laws I truly respect are the laws of land, air, water, sun. L-A-W-S. Land, air, water, sun. Those are the true laws. And for them, I will lay down my life. Language also provides a spoken and written narrative of events, which become the historical and current narrative for our world, which is taught as truth to our children. For example, Greek mythology is overtly filled with toxic masculinity. And we all learned Greek mythology, and we see the movies now, they're superheroes. Well, the Greeks and the Romans, after them, taught us that women only existed for the pleasure of men. Women like Helen of Troy were blamed for all the wars. Many goddesses like Europa were even blamed for getting raped. Still happens. And that Zeus. Did you know he ate his pregnant wife Metis, raped his daughter Persephone, and gave birth to Athena, the goddess of war and wisdom, which shouldn't even be said in the same sentence, from his forehead? And so it goes. Hillary gets Pizzagated, Kamala gets ignored, and AOC gets death threats. I am exhausted from the injustice of just us. Woo! And finally, the third rail of language used to control women, manufactured religion. Why do you think you call it heresy? Hersey, baby, hersey. Because Eve, blah, 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 snake, blah, 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 apple, wisdom, evil, Eve, evil, right? And what do you think of when you think of the snake? You don't think of wisdom, you think of... Let's face it, Adam was a crap lover. The snake came along, showed us how to do it, was trying to teach Adam. God, the patriarch, the ultimate authoritarian, spiteful, smiting, crazy narcissist, out of the Garden of Eating. Right? No more food for y'all. Go out there and fend for yourselves. Meanwhile, for centuries, feisty women and healers from every corner of the land have long been accused of practicing witchcraft. Like witch. Practicing witchcraft. Like witch. That wonderful word, right? Which way? Which way? That wonderful word that gives us choice. That's witchcraft. Punishable by death. Right? And just last year, women living in 14 states across the US of A lost body autonomy. Oh yeah? And so it begs the question, why would men seek control over women if women did not hold the keys to global transformation? Since language spells or creates matter, We are living out our continually self-prophesized fall of empire. The same damn his stories that have been dictating all our lives since the Bronze Age, right? So what do they tell us to do? They say, worship God. Worship. Worship. Yeah, that's my life. I'm going to worship a patriarchal, smiting, authoritarian dude who is watching me when I go to bed, who I get to have pleasure with. So, killing innocents, plundering resources, raping women, yeah. I am so tired of his story repeating itself. So today, let us tell her story instead. A really long time ago, life existed, and it all began in the ocean, the womb of the earth. And creatures emerged from the sea with skeletal structures for feet so they could walk, which was a major moment in her story. And we began to diversify, diversity being one of the very first evolutionary shifts. A whole new approach was rising up everywhere. Kingdom, phylum, class, species, genus, family, queendom. So when the first creatures crawled out of the sea on our feet, our class, our Homo class, climbed into the trees to evolve for millions of years into hominids, providing the time for our brains to divide into two hemispheres, like a zygote, the right mind and the left mind. Now, the right mind sees the big picture, excels at music, feelings, compassion, family, nourishing relationships, multitasking. The right mind has rods in our eyes, so it gives us a wide lens. Now the left brain is abstract, hunting for the other, linear, numbers, words, survival, with cones in our eyes for aim. Our hands evolved into opposable thumbs, and then, it was amazing, we grew heels. And that's when we descended to the ground and stood up straight and got busy with our hands. Now this amazing development is something that they don't even mention in his storybooks. That's right, but in history, this evolutionary development was a huge leap forward for mothers of our kind, because we stood up and our hands were free, and that gave us the power to make things. I love things. Don't you love things? Love things. The men, dominated by testosterone and survival, chipped stones into arrowheads and went hunting in straight, silent ways, listening for that one sound coming through the jungles, coming through the forest. They couldn't hear anything else. They couldn't hear their wives going, "Hey honey, it's time for dinner. Hey honey, I need my car changed. Hey honey, could you watch the kids for a little bit? Hey honey, could you wash the dishes?" No. They're listening for that one sound of, these days, usually, the TV. But back then, their craft was sharpening. Women wove. They created something new, something that's never been seen before. A basket, bread, clothing, a weaving. Women sat in circles in tall grasses, foraging, feeding the children, discovering the nature of plants, and playing charades, creating theater to explain to each other how they felt, what was wrong, what was happening. And while they sat in circles, they pulled the tall grasses and began to weave stories and baskets. They were basking, they were weaving, they were basking and weaving and humming and singing and weeping and laughing and playing. That was the Stone Age. And the place was Sumeria, now known as Iraq, or Iraq, or something like that. As the men furthered their hunting expeditions, they would explore caves and they found pretty shiny things. And so they discovered mines. Mines, as in, it's mine. That's not yours, it's mine. I'm gonna take it from you, it's mine. He decided it was his, and that changed everything. Men began to claim things as their own, including people, slaves, wives, children. And so in order to keep an account of what belonged to him, man created writing. Around 3300 BC, the balance of power shifted and the matriarchal communities of the Neolithic age were decimated by the brutality of men on horses wielding swords. Slowly and methodically, the idea that language came from the mother tongue was made preposterous by each conquering patriarchal culture. And here we are, 6,000 years later, staring human extinction in the face, watching the world descend into chaos, and 95% of the leaders are men. What? Totally and absolutely invested in the PAY, patriarchy, where they make you pay and pay until you die. When men took ownership, they stepped away from the land, air, water, sun laws of nature, and they chose to manufacture money, weapons, time, writing, laws. And the patriarchy, P-A-Y, where you have to pay and pay until the day you die. The time before was the matriarchy, where you ask nicely, may I try, Archie? May I try? For more than 1 million years, our feminine natures ruled this planet and provided a peaceful, handmade, homemade, and free life until the patriarchy was thrust upon us and in us. And they couldn't do it without language. So now every single word that comes out of our mouths vibrates, resonates, and affirms that he is the ruler, he is the boss, the king, the patriarch, the president. Men, 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 men. Every person that is on a bill, a money bill from America, is a man. You know, oh look, we put Sacagawea, the woman that got raped by white men, on a quarter. I am so tired. I am oh so tired. So, remember, when you use words like mention, human, amen, God, a zillion times an hour, we continue to affirm these deals. So remember, God is short for goddess. Can I get an amen? Right. In our original and self-guided quest to break the feminine linguistic glass ceiling, we went back to the very first spell, abracadabra, which is Aramaic for I create as I speak. Yeah. Each word creates a vibration, which eventually becomes matter. So how we spell and vocalize a word gives it its actual incarnate, unique power. The patriarchy, P-A-Y, patriarchy, where they make you pay and pay until you die, understood this, and they deviously concocted the spelling of their words in their dictionaries to maintain male domination. Woo! By injecting their power into spellings, they systematically suppress the sources of our power to this day. So Mama's first pocket Chictionary, taking the dick out of the dictionary, is designed to change the story by invoking the values of the feminine side, or the right side of the brain, which we all have. And that right side of the brain, what does it give to us? It gives us kindness, tenderness, cooperation, restoration, consideration, inclusion, support, understanding, listening, nurturing, sustaining, protection, and the ultimate of it all, mothering, listening. All these beautiful things, all these divine assets have long been defined as weak, as unimportant, even silly, but no longer. We are respelling the words to tell our own stories and reimagine our history to realign our destiny. So in designing the Trippsmith, we adopted a similar format to that of the dictionary. Words were chosen to resonate, include, and elevate the feminine, and to ring a bell. Each entry includes the dick spelling, and then the chick spelling, and then of course the phonetics, and then a qualifier, and then its grammatical part of speech and its definition. And of course then we used it in a sentence. There are 7 basic qualifiers in our Chictionary. The first one, you've heard of spell check, right? Everybody uses spell check, right? Well, our first qualifier is spell check. Spell check. That a change that enhances, elevates, and highlights the feminine in every word. For example, egg, example. Mother has he inserted right into the middle of it. So let's put you in it and redefine it as M-U-T-H-U-R. Try it with me now. Mother. Mother. Does it ring a bell?
Yeah.
Does it feel better? Does the resonant feel better?
Yes, yes.
That's just like us. Keep in mind that U is the most feminine vowel we have. Conversion, our second qualifier. A basic switch from masculine to feminine. For example, why do women go to the gynecologist? I just don't get it. It's an initial prefix that sounds like the word guy. Let's easily replace it with the word Gaia. Gynecologist. Gynecology. Come on, you Gaias. Let's go. I don't want anybody to ever just say, come on, you guys, when you're standing next to a bunch of beautiful goddesses ever again.
Yeah.
Consciously recognize. If you care about pronouns, how about we care about the word, the nouns themselves? Dick strike. That's my third one. Yep, a straightforward dick strike. Removing the male influence of the word. And these words are everywhere. Like the word hysterectomy. What? A man doesn't even have a uterus. So why does the procedure of removing one start with his? We're going to just easily change that to a her with a U. Say it with me now. Her. Ah, it feels so much better. So now it becomes herterectomy because it hurt. That's right. For women to have bodily autonomy, we have to reclaim our words, our bodies, our health, our medical procedures, and our decisions. And our words. Oh yeah. The next one is endangered. Some words are simply in danger of losing their original meanings and intent. For example, the apple is probably the most famous fruit from the Garden of Eden, right? And still the most popular fruit in America. But today, it is threatened by the proliferation of all those devices made by Apple. So if somebody says apple and you no longer think apple, you're thinking, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Oh God, where's my phone? Not to mention the GMOs that are screwing up the apples anyway, and you can bet that was a P-A-Y, patriarchal idea. So save the apple. All you have to say is apple. You'll get it. Vibe meter, number 5. A vibe meter measures how the word's vibration or feeling changes this when spelled anew. For example, the spelling of the word better. I want to get better. Is dangerous because it implies that one gambles or bets on improvement actually happening. I want to get better. I hope I get better. Well, the word should contain double D's instead. Because where do you go to get better? You go to bed. Duh. So we changed it. Better has a more uplifting vibration. It communicates what we really want to say. Number 6, the audiophile conversion. This occurs when the word sounds like what it means, but isn't spelled that way, which dilutes its strength. Spell the word like it sounds. For example, the sweet, unassuming word happiness, which describes the feeling of well-being, contentment, pleasure, but has the audiophile of the word hap-penis. Happiness. I'm filled with happiness. And you don't even think about it. Just all my life, never even thought about it. So we're changing it to happy nice. Happy nice. Y'all try it now. Happy nice. I'm filled with happy nice. That just feels good, doesn't it? True intent is streamlined. That's the audiophile conversion. Last one, there are certain words that just need to be omitted completely. We are done with these words because they insult the divine feminine, and they need to be retired. Not only does the word whore sound like war, but this word is used as a war against women. Hence, we decree that it's time for this word to be removed completely. We refuse to ever use it in a sentence. So when you read the dictionary, which is going to be available over there at that table when we're done with my talk, and also at Barnes and Noble, you can read the introduction, and it's a really good story. And then follow our directions, because it's an interactive book. We ask that you say each new spelled word out loud, and then use it in a sentence. And you will physically experience a vibrational and a resonant change that actually rings a bell, resonates, and 9 times out of 10 makes you laugh. That's when you know that the vibration of the word is doing its job. It makes you laugh. It opens your heart. You feel it. You're connected to it. You experience what you're actually saying. And it's fun for kids too. Why teach them the words of patriarchy? Raise your kids with a new vibrational language. In fact, it's the way a word is spelled that actually casts a spell. Because when where the word spelling comes from. That's right. Where does spelling come from? Witches. Witches. Always witches. It comes back to us. Do we have any witches in the house? Woo! I thought so. And all you men, you got some inner witches too. I know you do. That's how you. So the official spelling of which way, W-I-C-H, completely diluted once again, right? So let's start using the word witch, W-I-T-C-H, properly. Which one do you want? Which way should we go? Power lies in attracting what you want and taking the right path, a power witches possess. So when the dictionary stole the word witch and made a W-I-C-H instead, which is a dumb way to spell it. Dumb because witch doesn't communicate magic. W-I-T-C-H is just so much more magical and fun to spell. So when you say it, think it. W-I-T-C-H. Which way should I go? When we spell a word, we cast a spell, and we actually write out our life sentences. We are committing to an idea, to a dream, to a plan. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be included in that plan? This way we can gain power in a world where the feminine is being erased, canceled, every day, legislated, criminalized. The most obvious and basic pussy power grab are woman and women, insinuating that we come from men. Woman actually translates to of man. That's the translation. But now we all know who gave birth to whom. But there it is, woman with the man in it. So we decided to put the U back in woman to make it, you ready? Woman, woman. And I for women, women, women. I am a women. I'm part of that. And likewise, it rings a bell. Woman and women. And then what about she? Got a he inside of it. Let's put an I there. She. She. Write it that way. Think it that way. Take the E and replace it with I. Now her, the most important one. I love her. Her. With a U. That's right. And one of my pet peeves is the word human. Human. Yeah, I'm a human. Yeah, do I look like a human? Hey, baby, I'm a flower today. From now on, we are humans. You in both places. Human. You and you and you. And I am not a female. Female, it sounds like pay him. Just pay him. I'm a female. Right? It's Femoon from now on. I am of the Femoons. That's right, my Femoon nature. And that rings a bell. Okay, here's a totally obnoxious one. Hymen. Right. Hi, man. Hi, man. How do these things even get by and we don't even think about them? Really easily, once and for all, let's spell check that one into high moon. Woo! High moon. That one rings a bell, and if you don't know, well, you should know. Next two are so disrespectful. Menstruation. Are you kidding me? And then what really upsets this woman at my age? Menopause.
Right.
Moonstration, moonopause. Gee, makes total sense. What could be more feminine and yet both start with the word men? The moon guides a woman's monthly blood. Why not more accurately describe this powerful time? So when your daughters get of age, you introduce them to moonstration. And yeah, when I had moonopause, I did put men on pause, but that's another story. And while we're at it, I don't want anybody doing any manifesting anymore. Oh, just manifest it. Just manifest it. God, S. God, S. Moonifest it. Right? Can I get an A moon? It feels so much better, doesn't it? Who else can think of one? Can anybody think of one?
I've got a bunch of them.
What?
I'm working on a new language too. I'm with you. So one, overfy. Instead of testify, I overfy.
Overfy. There you go. I like that one.
And we got lapitalism instead of capitalism. It's love, life, the land, lap instead of...
I like it. Lap. I gotcha.
And then there was
Love you. And okay, so let's look at these words, these men words a little bit, shall we? How about government? Ment. You got it right there. Commitment. Oh yeah, management. That's a double offender, along with commandment. All right? So we got to change them all. So it's going to be mint, because we mint our ideas. Government. Commitment. And then this one's hard. Moonagement. Commandment. And we'll just change them all. And you start to understand why I am so damn tired of the PAY patriarchy that makes you say it with me now. Pay and pay until you die. Oh yeah. So, brothers and sisters, it is obvious and obnoxious how much they interrupt, penetrate, dominate, and erase the feminine. They even call us Miss. Miss. Yeah. Mr. and Miss. Like we're not even there. I miss myself. Yes, I do. So therefore, I prefer the word myth. Mr., because he does miss me. Mr. and myth. Myth, Kim. I am a mythological being. Yes, I am. And every word that starts with miss is bad anyway. Mistake, misunderstand, misinformation, miserable. It should be mess. Okay, M-E-S-S, right? That's a much more accurate audio file conversion there. So check it out. Mistake. I made a mistake. I messed up. Duh. It's a misunderstanding. God, it just made the biggest mess, right? Misinformation. Big mess. I'm miserable. I'm just miserable because I'm surrounded by a mess. So there you go. 4 new ones. And while we're doing surgery and dissecting these words, we also need an extra S in the word misspelled, right? You misspelled it. If you're not going to change it to a mess spelled it, at least get that other S in there. And messages should really be messages, because they're left when you're not there, right? So leave a message. And how often, once again, are we referred to as guys? Come on, you guys. Let's go, guys. From now on, teach everyone you know. Interrupt every guy who thinks he's so cool that he's like in touch with his female side and gets the pronouns right. Remember, Gaias. Come on, you Gaias. Let's go, Gaias. So important. Try it with me now. You ready? Come on, Gaias. Let's go, you Gaias. And if the men look at you funny, go, oh, you guys can come too. In fact, but not too quickly. Now, can I get an A moon for my sisters? And let's spell sisters with stars, because they're the stars in our lives. Once again, it's a word that isn't quite fully developed. It needs that sister, because they are the bright lights. When I am in darkness, I look to my sisters to guide me. Yeah. And I am so thankful to be a sister to others. And while we're talking about that, does anybody know the feminine equivalent of master? What is it, mistress? I don't think so. Very weird concept. Once again, mistress. Yeah, it is a mess. So instead, we changed it to my star. I am the my star of ceremonies. I got my star in environmental studies. So people that have earned their My Stars degree, or their My Star, the art of something amazing, always remember, you are my stars. And here's a series of dick strikes for you. We all know men are obsessed with balls. Football, soccer ball, basketball, golf ball, baldy ball. But why must Cinderella meet her prince at the ball? I'm sorry, but we're teaching our kids some way heavy-duty PAY, patriarchy, gonna make you pay until you die shit. Okay, we gotta cut this out. We gotta tell better stories to our kids. Yes, we do. So simple dick strike. Change ball to bell. B-E-L-L-E. The bell gown. We're going to the bell room. Oh, did you get a ticket to the bell? So much easier. And that one, of course, rings a bell. So let me encourage you and share with you a few of my favorite 5-meter words. Check out the prefix N, E-N, enlighten, enjoy, encourage, nothing there, sorry. We can make it easily rise in vibration by simply changing E-N to I-N. Duh, enlighten, enjoy, encourage, in. That's where it is. The light and the understanding, the beauty is in me. Enjoy yourself. Encourage each other. And why only one L in wonderful? Wonderful. Wonderful. No. Wonderful. Wonderful. 2 L's. And that goes across the board. There's joyful, peaceful, hopeful. Put that emphasis. Get that other L. Fill it up with L's. Now here's 2 of my new faves. You can just add the extra L to magical. So it's magical. Magical. And then of course my other one, miracle. Miracle, because let's face it, for magic to work, you gotta call it in. So call it in when you think of it. I am a magical being. I am spreading miracles all and everywhere I go. Now let's explore a few examples of the spell check qualifier, which elevates the feminine that we already hear in the words, but it's not really there. So how about all the X words? Now, granted, my ex is my ex, but that's the only X I'm gonna be about. All the others are gonna be replaced with eggs. Eggs, because we got eggs, baby. So it's excellent. Oh, yes, it is. Exactly. Right? And my favorite, I'm so excited. Yes, I am. And yeah, it's an existential threat, that climate change. Because it's threatening my eggs, baby. And I want them to have a place to hatch. So get out there and do that excellent work, okay? How about the con words, right? And context is a prefix. Con means contrary, against. So why is it the Constitution? Now we thought of the opposite there. Prostitution. That didn't quite work. Too much like that Constitution, prostitution. So then we went back to the beginning of it all, right? The Constitution. Can I get an A-moon? The Constitution. That's right, baby. Because that's where it all started. Yes, it did. And while we're on that beautiful word, cunt, say it with me now. Cunt. Oh, it's such a lovely word, isn't it?
Yes.
It's short, it's sweet, it's got that t on the end of it. It just is a great word. So I bring it back into my world. Yes, I do. I am a loving, wonderful, sexy, almost available cunt. Yes, I am, and I'm joyful with two L's about it. Contact, contract, continue, country. Okay, contract, contact, continue, country. Putting the cunt back in country. Oh yeah, because we're changing these words so they can exude their true intent. The cunt representing where we all come from. And let's face it, the kindest, most wonderful destination for closeness on earth. Then there's my favorite when it comes to conjugal. How did they even figure that one out? Conjugal. Like, how do you come So we simply made a very simple change. Conjugal. Ah, yes, I'm having a conjugal visit. Now, some con words are clearer when you change con to come. How could it be a confidant? How would you tell your confidant everything? Honey, it's a confidant. Much more comfy, don't you think? Think of it that way, confidant. In respelling words, it's important to keep our eyes on the true meaning of what we're really trying to communicate. Another quadrifier is the audiophile. Sometimes things need to be respelled as they sound, like the word son. My son is my son. My son is everything to me. I love my son. So I'm going to spell it S-U-N from now on and think of my son shining brightly in my life. My son. He is an elemental part of my being. And my daughter, my daughter, like all that A-U-G-H crap, like, what? What? DeWater. Say it with me. DeWater. DeWater. She is the flow within me. She is all my DeWaters. They flow from my water into them. They are my son and my DeWater, my elementals. And you can take that I-U-G-H out of everything. Just throw it out. Through. T-H-R-U. Duh. Sometimes, in our quest to find words, we'll stumble on masculinized words that have no feminine equivalent at all. Like the word misogyny. Misogyny, right? The hatred of women. Like, I've known that. That ingrained prejudice that exists in the most unexpected and often the most expected places. Misogyny has been around since the beginning of recorded history, and there's never been an equivalent word for the hatred of men. Is it because we are, or we were, afraid to even think that name because we might get punished for thinking it? Well, let alone name it. So I'm going to name it right now because I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I have only God knows how many seconds left to live on this planet, and I will march every day in the light of the feminine. And so I rename the hatred or the ingrained prejudice of men, which I do not have for personal men, but I do have for the overarching system of male domination that is driving our planet to no longer be able to hold us and allow us to thrive. And so I introduced the word masterogeny. Masterogeny, the hatred of male oppression. Say it with me now. Masterogeny. There you go. We've rebirthed the word. And while we're on the subject of master, I will never ever masturbate. What a horrible thing to do. Well, I don't even like the sound of it. Even though it's probably the most primordial thing that people do, I will not masturbate. I don't understand. Instead, we thought about it for a very long time. And we decided the best word to describe that lovely act of self-love is to vibrate. I think it's time for me to vibrate. Do you know what happens when you vibrate? When you finally come, Kate, right? All of your glands explode. Women have 126 glands. You have a glandular expression. It is the stuff that keeps us alive. So never stop vibrating. You always have a partner. Which brings me to left and right. Right is a dangerous word. When we say the extreme right, It affirms that they are right or correct, right? When we say it again and again, oh, that right wing, oh, those MAGA right wingers, ah, you know, right, they're always right. And then left, well, we're abandoned, right? We're leftovers, or we're not wanted. They left. I don't know. They're not here. They have no vision. They have no unified thoughts. Are you out of your right minds? Yes, I think you've run out of right mind. To shift the balance, we have to reclaim that right word, because rights are sacred ceremonial acts. R-I-T-E, rights, birthrights, death rights, marriage rights, dancing rights, playing rights, sacrifice rights, freedom, air, earth, fire, water, singing. Creating rights is a right brain activity. Right? Right. So own that. We are in those of us that have been left are actually right. We are. We just want fresh air and clean water and a place to raise our children and a little bit of true equality and maybe the passage of the ERA. You know, little things like the end of the Supreme Court as it is. And a truly balanced just us for all. That's what we really want. Next time you find yourself furious at the unjust us, let that word, of our words that we use to communicate, let your right brain lead you to a better story. One of the ways to do that is to just sing a song. Because when you sing a song, you exercise your right brain. That's where songs come from. Any song will do. So let's just sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat Together and see if we can feel that right brain flowing through us. You ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Do you feel it flowing? You feel that right brain, that kindness, that part of you that wants to just go and hug anybody and everybody and, you know, follow all those hippie precepts of, you know, love each other like ourselves, you know. That's where it's at. That's where it lives, is in our right minds. There's a time for the left brain. You got to do your bills, get in your left brain. But for the where do you want to live? You want to live on that right side. Any questions? Got any questions for me? Do ya? There's a question over here. Go ahead.
Do you have any suggestions on how to rename the right and left political field? Like, do you have other names that you...
Well, I mean, really, it is the progressives and the regressives. I think that kind of pretty easy there. Anybody else?
I'm wondering what you think about this fairly new thing of calling actors and actresses all actor.
I do have a problem with that. I do. And we actually have been looking at that one, you know, and it's interesting to me because a lot of times women will fight for that patriarchal word as if it is righteous. And I feel like there has to be a better one, and we're still working on that one. And thank you for bringing it up, though, because actress sounds too much like dress. You know, like it's important what she looks like. And actor, we're still looking at that one, you know. I'll get back to you. And if you have an idea, we accept all ideas. If you pick up a book or you go to our website, pocketdictionary.com, you'll find us also in Barnes & Noble. Send us your words, and we'll include them, and we'll also give you credit. Because, you know, we are a collective. Yes, we are. A collective of human beings, human, H-U-M-U-N, that want to communicate in better ways. And so, yeah, we want to listen. We want to reintegrate. We want to respell.
How about actors and active?
We looked at that one, too, but active has too much in it to, you know. But it is amazing. I mean, you look at the word nun, right? You got priests, and it should be priestesses, but they just couldn't go there. too much power. So they made nuns, like none. So we decided just call them sisters. Just keep them as sisters then, if you can't go for the priestess. We prefer priestess, but it's hard. It's hard out there trying to make those changes. Yes, it is. I think my time here is up. It's coming to a close. I want to thank you for showing up today to listen. I am excited to be able to invite you to join our spelling rebellion. I encourage all of y'all, especially the men, I'm thanking you for showing up because we want you to join us. Yes, we do. Your consciousness about respelling the world is really important because more than likely you talk to other men that weren't here. And us women, we get together, we talk about everything. How big, how good, how bad, everything. Don't think we don't. But you men, when you get together, it's more story-oriented, I think, a lot of times. So make sure you tell this story. Tell her story, if you can, because it's in all of our benefit to find a way to have more of the feminine. If men and women can learn how to integrate the feminine into our language, we may very well be able to save our asses from this patriarchal pandemonium by delivering us, as only a mother can, into the new paradigm waiting for us to create it. And please note, the actual Pocket Dictionary includes a few empty pages waiting for your contributions, right? Your contributions. I love saying that word. And yes, you too can engage your inner cunning linguist. So please, be on the listen for words that just don't sound right or offensive in some ways. Take it in your hands, these amazing evolutionary things at the end of our arms, and make something better with it. Experiment with new spellings and see if they ring a bell. Join us. Thank you so much for listening. And if I brought some joy or laughter or insight into your life today with my Herstory 101 talk, please consider showing your appreciation by purchasing Mama's First Pocket Dictionary, taking the dick out of the dictionary, and joining our feminine linguistic rebellion to respell the world.
Thank you so much, Kim. Kim, how can we purchase?
I believe right back there, he's holding a book up right now. I split everything with my partner, Sherry Glazer. Sherry had a he in her name. Sherry. So now we have to change it to Sherry, Sharey. So look at your own names. If they got he's, hims, males, mans, get them out of there. Get them out of there. Be well, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for living your life in that truth. Thank you for just that focused dedication to language is so important. My eyes are way more open. My heart is also more open.